Thank you for stopping here for just a minute to listen to this. This is a crisis happening in America that is a call to action for every caring, loving Christian American to take heed to. I'm going to play a really quick little video that I've created for you here, and then I'm going to tell you how we can end this crisis. This is a crisis concerning our senior citizens who are suffering financially due to the high cost of living and the fact that they are stuck on a fixed income, many of them disabled, living on a fixed income, being evicted out into our streets. We can end this chaos. The government is not going to take care of it. We need to come together. As people of the United States, we need to come together to resolve this problem. I'm going to play this little 7-minute clip for you real quick, and then I'm going to go on and show you how we can end this problem so simply, so easily, so quickly if all Americans will just come together. Let me ask you, can you afford to give just $1.25 a week? $1.25 a week from every caring American. We can end this problem. We have the solution. Watch the video. Hang on, I'll be right. Many people is the new face of homelessness. It's the new face of homelessness. They are not drug addicts and alcoholics. They are actually people who worked hard and paid their taxes all of their life. And many of them are still working, even though they have become homeless, which is in itself a very difficult feat to accomplish. You have to really, really take your hat off to those people who have been able to maintain a job while being homeless. And this is mainly people who have been able to at least keep a car and they can get back and forth to work and they can sleep in their car. And there are literally not just elderly people doing this, but also families living in a car with kids in a car, and one or both of the parents have jobs and they've got this one car that they're living in, and it's an insane situation. We're focused on helping all of the homeless, but primarily right now because of the crisis that we're seeing with the elderly people being evicted from their homes because of the high cost of living now. Literally, they're being evicted. Their stuff gets put out in the street, and they are just left with nothing. And people come by, start taking their stuff. The next thing you know, they're trying to get into shelters. The shelters are full. The shelters are dangerous. They're not any better off in a shelter than they are really in the street. So we're on a movement to help these people. But I want to show you just how big and bad this problem really is. I want you to go into YouTube and put in the search words. Just put in the search words: homeless senior citizens America. America, homeless senior citizens crisis. You will find video after video just on this one search that I have up here right now. I am seeing, and this is a very good one I would suggest that you listen to. America is criminalizing its poorest people. Here's how. They're criminalizing it. To be poor, it is now a crime. There are, let's see, there's another man who's done some videos.
Local government if they
Right
allow it.
here,
Not just the
this
ability.
man explains exactly what's happened in America to cause this downfall, that they're making it illegal to be poor. There are documentaries being done on how the social system that we've had before to rely on, that our seniors could rely on, was first of all pensions. And then the pensions now have been closed and converted over into 401ks, which have tanked with the stock market. So our seniors are desperately, have lost. They've lost. And they're reliant only on Social Security, which has had cutbacks. And when it does have an increase, it doesn't keep up with the rate of increase in housing. So cost of housing. So if you go into YouTube and you look at these videos, you will just see one after the other regarding the issues of homeless senior citizens in America.
$75 per day in storage.
They've converted to, if they lose the home, if they have any money at all, they try to buy a motor home of some sort, and they become nomadic in a motor home. But there's laws and regulations around all of that. They can't just park anywhere, and they can only park for a certain number of hours. They're constantly moving around, which is a big expense in gas. that they have to choose between the gas and moving to keep their home so they don't get the home taken from them, or they have to, go without food to pay for the gas to keep moving the motorhome around. They only get a couple of hours in one place and they're shoot off, or they can get very expensive citations. The other thing is that when the motorhome becomes immovable because it needs repairs or something, then it winds up being hauled away, and they are now literally down to having to live like many already are in the tents in the bushes wherever they can find a place, and then they get run off from there as well. So our senior citizens are really, really, really struggling. And if you just want to understand how bad and how difficult this situation is for them, just go into YouTube and type in there homeless overnight. People are becoming homeless.
Me personally, I don't feel safe.
Citizens in our communities that have worked and paid taxes, and overnight they're becoming homeless and dumped into the streets. Just go in there and search the words homeless American senior citizen, and you will be appalled. And if you start really watching these videos, you will see this is a crisis situation that is America is not going to come out of because of the government taking care of the problem. The government hasn't been able to take care of this problem for all these years that we have seen the homeless crisis accumulating. They have not done anything really to take care of it, but we have a simple solution and we can take care of it. But we do need all loving, caring Americans to come together to help us accomplish it. And it is not going to take a lot from any one person. $1.25 a week. If you can spare $1.25 a week, I promise you, God is going to bless you, because we're going to be able to, with millions of people participating in that $1.25 a week, we're going to be able to provide the housing that these people need, these very vulnerable people who are in jeopardy, being victimized in our streets, dying in our streets. They're dying in our streets. They're dying because of the elements of the weather. They're dying because of the things they're exposed to. They're dying because of the abuse that they're under with the other people. There are literally people in this country that are so heartless. They're running around throwing gasoline on elderly homeless people and then throwing a match out to light it on fire. This is a sick country right now, and we need everyone who is well in the mind to participate in helping us get these very vulnerable, very frail people off of the streets. Please help us. So, Blessed to Give Homeless Prevention has been created in the interest of building tiny house villages for our senior citizens, particularly taking care of those who might have been veterans. We want to get all the veterans off the streets. They do not deserve to be living under these harsh conditions. We want to get all the frail people and the disabled people into safety. So, creating communities of small, tiny house villages is the goal. And literally, it only takes 1,000 people giving $5 a month, that's $1.25 a week, to get this job done to support one property. We already have 3 properties ready to be built on. The land is there. We need the money to put in the infrastructure. $1.25 a week. No one's ever going to miss that. No one's ever going to miss $1.25 a week out of their budget. But I promise you, if you give that $1.25 a week, I promise you, God is going to bless you. That's what I know. So here's the solution to the problem right here, simple and easy, just bringing Americans together. I'm going to reiterate 1 in 4 homeless men in America is a U.S. veteran. Seniors are now almost 50% of the entire homeless population. They are the fastest growing group of the homeless population, meaning there are more senior citizens becoming homeless every day than there are drug addicts and alcoholics becoming homeless. There are more tax-paying, hard-working senior citizens that deserve to retire and cannot becoming homeless than there are drug addicts and alcoholics becoming homeless. By 2030, the number of senior citizens entering into the homeless population is expected to triple. We can stop that from happening if we all come together and give that $1.25 a week. Just $1.25 a week. So I'm going to show you in just a minute how to give it. Right here. Together we can end the senior homelessness. This is a movement built on the idea that hundreds of people participating, we can build hundreds of tiny house villages across the country. Literally, if we can get up to 1 million people contributing, we could build at least 3 tiny house villages every month somewhere in America. And every one of those villages will house hundreds of senior citizens. Each one, depending on how big the land is, could house literally hundreds of people on one property. We have a property in Texas right now. We predict that and it's not more than about an acre. It's about an acre and a half, actually. And we already know we can house 40 to 100 homeless senior citizens on that one property, each having their own little space with a door to lock and the safety that they need. Creating a community of these people and like minded people where they're safe. They have good neighbors that are just like them in the same situation. They're away from the violence, they're away from the victimization of the people who are doing unbelievable things, particularly to our women. Our senior ladies in their 80s are being abused in such ways I can't even talk about it. It's so appalling. We have got to get these elderly people off of our streets. We just have to. It is our duty to do so. It is our duty to do so. These are the people who built this country to be what it was. They built it back up and made it a strong country, and they worked hard all their lives. Many of these people raising their families had 2 jobs, and now they cannot live on their Social Security income because of the cost of housing. They cannot live in a safe place. We have to fix this problem, and we cannot rely on the government. We've already been watching what the government does. Any money segregated out for the purpose of the cause of housing the homeless is pilfered off through all kinds of you can't even talk about it. There's so much fraud goes on in that you can't even talk about it. But we the people can fix this problem. $1.25 a week, $1.25 a week. Just 1,000 people doing it will result in enough money to support the property we're already working on in Texas. We can have that up and running and have anywhere from 40 to 100 people living on that property almost immediately. All we need is the funding to finish the infrastructure and pay the bills every month. $5,000 a month will keep that property operating every single month from here on out, providing for hundreds of people all at one time and for more people in the years to come as they pass through there. But we need to do more than that property. We need to build millions of houses throughout this country. If we had 1 million people giving $5 a month, that $1.25 a week, we could open at least 3 new villages from start to finish and have them occupied within a month somewhere in America. 3 villages with over 100 little houses every single month. If we can just get 1 million people to give that $5 a month, $1.25 a week, that's all it is. That's all it is. So you can donate at blessandbeblessed.org. Blessandbeblessed.org. There's a button on that site that says give your blessing. I encourage everyone to please go as soon as possible. Jump in there right now, blessandbeblessed.org, and submit to giving at least that $5 a month subscription. Become one of the first 1 million people to end senior homelessness in America. You'll never feel the pain. You'll never feel the pain. I want to remind you, God has called us to fill the Great Commission. Luke 6:38. Give, and it shall be given unto you. In good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. This is how you, if you are struggling yourself and you need a blessing, give a little. If you can just scrape up that $1.25 a week and commit to that $1.25 a week, your blessing to this program is going to come back as blessings upon you, multifold over what you give. I know no better way to turn on blessings than to give. That's where it all starts. Matthew 25:35. For I was a stranger and you welcomed me. I was homeless and you gave me a home. God is looking for us to house these homeless people, not the government, us individually. It is a duty called upon us to fulfill the Great Commission. I'm asking you to join this army. We are an army on the march to protect our senior citizens and then to work on protecting our mothers with children, all of the children coming and children that are out aging the foster home care and being thrown out into the streets at the ages of 18. They're not old enough to be on their own yet, and they have no foundation. They are going to be one of our next focuses for building housing for them as well, but it will be a group housing situation where it creates a family for them. They have no family, they have nothing to fall back on. They will be our next point of um, interest to protect them and help them get a foothold on life. So we ask you to please join us here. Join this army. Remember that. But for the grace of God, any one of you could have been born into a situation. You may be doing well right now. You might actually be we've heard stories of people who were billionaires becoming homeless and having nothing and living in the streets. There are people who have actually owned businesses and been millionaires and billionaires become homeless living in the streets. Things happen. Life can happen, and you don't know where it's coming from or when it's going to come. It can change in a heartbeat. We see this all the time. People have a medical emergency, have a heart attack. The medical bills stack up. The next thing you know, the entire family is affected. And it doesn't just happen to elderly people, it happens to young people as well. But elderly people can't survive well in the streets. So realize this could be you sitting on a park bench in the snow, in the cold, with no place to go. It could be any one of us. So if you're grateful that you are in the situation that you are, you've got a warm bed to sleep in every night. You don't have to worry. You've got doors to lock. You don't have to, lose sleep because you can't go to sleep because you got to be aware of who's around you and what your surroundings are and what somebody might be about to do to you. People who are sleeping in the streets only sleep because they're exhausted. The rest of the time, they're on full alert. That's one reason they keep dogs, is because the dogs will alert them that someone's around. So if you have a heart, if you care, please join us. If you're grateful that you have what you have, please join us. Let's help those who cannot help themselves. Blessed to Give Homeless Prevention. Go to www.blessandbeblessed.org. www.blessandbeblessed.org. We also have a Zoom call every Sunday night at 9 p.m. If you'd like to join us on that Zoom call, we are gathering together people to become part of the Army, to really get engaged and to learn more about the problems that these people are facing, and where we will be giving updates on the properties that we are developing, where they're at, who we're housing there, what's going on. If you want to get really involved with us, you can join us on our our Sunday night Zoom call at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. And you can get to that Zoom call very easily by just going to www.blessed, BLESSED, to give more.com. So blessed2givemore.com will get you into our Zoom call, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, Sunday nights. And the www.blessandbeblessed.org will get you to our fundraising, our site that for the charity that actually where you can go and commit to that $5 a month. We really appreciate your assistance. We appreciate your care, and those who we will house in the future will. And this is a way you can create a legacy for yourself, that you were part of this movement. This is a movement, and we need every loving, caring American to come along on it. God bless you. We look forward to meeting you on our Zoom call. Have a wonderful day and a blessed day. God bless. Thank you for listening.